Meet Ajin. To the world, she's just another high school girl. But in her kitchen, under the warm glow of the oven, she's a queen. Her passion? Baking. And she's not just good at it, she's viral on social media good. While everyone else is chasing high school drama, our girl is chasing the perfect rise on a loaf of bread. This is her kingdom, her happy place. Meanwhile, back at school, the air is buzzing with a different kind of energy. The name on everyone's lips? Junoo, the school's handsome prince, the star athlete, the top student, basically the guy who won the genetic lottery. Girls are literally crafting shrines, banners for him for the upcoming sports day. He's the main character, and everyone knows it. But while the entire female population is gearing up to cheer for their prince, Ajin has other plans. Baking plans. A financier cake won't bake itself, she thinks, her eyes sparkling not for a boy, but for almonds and chocolate. She couldn't care less about some basketball practice. Our girl's priorities are straight, and they smell delicious. Fate, however, has a funny way of messing with plans. A mysterious stain on her shirt leads her to the school's water fountain for an emergency cleanup. And just as she's losing the battle against the stubborn smudge, a voice cuts through her frustration. "What are you doing?" "Bro, it's him. Junoo." The prince himself, fresh from practice, looking like he just walked off a magazine cover. He even complains about the girls distracting his team, the irony. And then, things get complicated. Junoo, in a surprisingly hands-on move, tries to show her how to properly wash the stain. But in his attempt to help, he grabs her shirt a little too enthusiastically. And cue the panic. My bra is showing. Our girl is mortified. The most popular guy in school is holding her shirt, and she's putting on an unintentional peep show. But wait, instead of a snarky comment, what she gets is concern. "I don't want people to stare at you," he says, his own face blushing a little. This cool, untouchable prince is actually a softie. He's flustered. Our boy is actually flustered. As they walk away, Ajin is left wondering why this campus celebrity is being so unexpectedly nice. From a sweet, awkward encounter, our story takes a sharp turn into the night. Ajin, being the loyal friend she is playing bodyguard for her bestie Cho-wee, who's meeting a guy. She's on high alert, ready to jump in if things get weird. "Call me if he tries anything funny," she texts, ever the protector. But the danger finds her instead. While waiting, a slick-looking creep corners her, spinning some BS story about being a director and offering her a role. His grip on her wrist tightens and panic sets in. She's frozen, trapped. But just as the creep's slimy words fill the air, asterisk snatch, asterisk someone yanks her phone away. And then, asterisk thud, asterisk a figure in a baseball cap appears out of nowhere, taking the creep down in a flash. Who is this mysterious hero in the night? And why does he seem vaguely familiar? Alright, let's dive right in. This is Cho-wee, Ajin's supposed best friend, and she's just been caught red-handed with a phone that isn't hers. Ajin's phone, which mysteriously ended up with the school prince, Junoo. Her excuse? I just picked it up from his trash can. Yeah, right. Our girl Ajin ain't buying it for a second. Cho-wee, you hate touching dirty stuff, though. A single sentence, and it's checkmate. Backed into a corner, Cho-wee flips the script, trying to gaslight her way out with tears and accusations. "Are you trying to make me look like the villain?" she cries. And our girl Ajin, bless her heart, immediately caves. Instead of pressing further, she pulls her friend into a hug, choosing to trust her. A classic case of being too nice for her own good. She doesn't see the flicker of panic and calculation in Cho-wee's eyes. So how do we get here? It all started in class, with a dreaded group project. The teacher announces the pairs are already set. No complaints. And guess who gets paired with our ordinary, baking-loving Ajin? None other than Junoo Park, the guy every girl in school is crushing on. The classroom erupts. The glares of jealousy are so sharp, they could cut glass. Lucky you, Ajin. Junoo's going to carry you. Their first meeting to work on the project is chaotic. Ajin, nervous as hell, immediately spills her drink. Total disaster. But just as she's about to have a full-blown meltdown, asterisk swoosh star, Junoo catches the falling cup. He doesn't laugh, he doesn't mock. He just calmly tells her to go wash her hands. And get this, he even cleans up the mess and buys her a new banana shake, remembering it's her favorite. "Order another one for me?" Ajin can't believe it. This guy, he's not just handsome, he's actually thoughtful. "I don't want to be a burden, he says softly. At that moment, Ajin's heart just did a thing. But this sweet moment has an unwelcome audience. Cho-wee, passing by the cafe, spots them. Wait, she teamed up with a boy. And not just any boy. Junoo. The green-eyed monster rears its ugly head. She watches as Junoo leaves, and Ajin remains at the table alone. And there's her chance. While Ajin is in the bathroom, Cho-wee slips in her seat, a wicked smirk on her face. I bet Jinu will get mad if their assignment disappears. She guesses the password. Pathetically, it's Cho Hui's own birthday. Oh, Ajin, you innocent fool. And with a single click, delete. She guts the presentation, removing all the hard work inside, leaving only the intro and outro slides. The entire project gone. Poor Ajin, she thinks. I wonder what face she'll make tomorrow. The next day, Judgment Day. The teacher calls out the teams who didn't submit. Team 2, Ajin Kong and Jinu Park. Ajin is stunned. But I sent it. I double-checked. The teacher finds the email, but something's wrong with the file. When they try to present, all that's on screen is Ajin's cute template and nothing else. The class erupts in laughter. Ajin stands there, frozen in humiliation, wanting the ground to swallow her whole. I've ruined everything. For me and for Jinu. But just when all hope seems lost, Jinu stands up, calm as ever. I apologize. There must have been a glitch. I sent it again. And just like that, he takes over. He doesn't just present, he absolutely kills it. Effortless, confident, sounding like a native speaker. He didn't just save their grade. He saved Ajin from total social annihilation. Our girl can only stare, completely starstruck. Wow, Junu's on another level. Later, Ajin wants to thank him with some pastries, completely oblivious to the real drama. And Choi, she overhears that not only did they not fail, but the teacher praised them. Her plan completely backfired. How can this be? I got rid of all the slides. Her whole world comes crashing down. The rage consumes her. She goes home, a storm brewing inside, only to walk into another storm. Her parents' screaming match over a divorce, which quickly turns violent. This girl's life is a pressure cooker, and she's taking it out on the one person who genuinely cares for her. She smacks the heartfelt gifts from Ajin to the floor, her inner demons roaring. Stupid Ajin, why do you always get to be happy? Why does everyone love you so much? Her jealousy has become something twisted. I want to crush that happiness of yours. And our boy Jinu? He's trying to study for the upcoming school trip, but his focus is shot. A memory flashes in his mind. Ajin's goofy, happy face. Why did Ajin come to mind back then? He doesn't get it. This carefree, clumsy, baking-obsessed girl is somehow getting under his skin. The untouchable prince might just be starting to fall. Meet Ajin, your typical high school girl, whose entire universe revolves around one thing, baking. And then there's Jinu, the guy every single girl in school is obsessed with. Their worlds? They shouldn't even be in the same orbit. But a simple school trip is about to change all of that, kicking off a story no one saw coming. But let's rewind. Our story really begins a year ago, at the most boring programming summer camp imaginable. While her friends were plotting their great escape, Ajin had her first run-in with Jinu. He was just some senior wearing a helper t-shirt, but when he caught them red-handed, bait him. Her heart just skipped a beat. She gathered every ounce of courage she had to talk to him, only to get hit with the ultimate gut punch. He was off to hang out with his girlfriend. First love, over before it even started. That crushing feeling became her last memory of him. Little did she know, this wasn't the end of their story. Fast forward to the present, on a train headed for the school trip. Our girl Ajin is dying of thirst. She makes a break for the vending machine, dreaming of her favorite apple soda, only to find it sold out. But just as she's about to despair, a hand offers her that exact can. Take it. I got it for you. She turns around, and who is it? Jinu. My man is smooth. But sweet moments like this are fleeting. The trip is barely underway, and the gossip mill is already running at full speed. Whispers and jealous glares follow them down the hallway. Ajin catches wind of some nasty rumors about herself. But instead of getting upset, she just grins. You want to play games? She can play too. Later that night, things escalate with a classic game of truth or dare. And wouldn't you know it, the wheel of fate stops right between Ajin and Jinu. The room goes dead silent. Every eye is on them. The air is so thick with tension, you could cut with a knife. Something is definitely brewing. Since they refuse to answer the question, they get a punishment. The mission? Sneak into the teacher's room and snap a picture. This is bad. With everyone else watching with devilish glee, our duo has no choice but to venture into the dark, silent hallways together. They're just about to complete their mission when they hear it. Footsteps. It's the security guard. In a split second, Jinu grabs Ajin, pulling her into a nearby supply closet. Plunged into darkness, they're pressed against each other, the only sound being the frantic pounding of their own hearts. Bait 'em. Bait 'em. They barely escape getting caught. Back in the hallway, the night air is cold, and Ajin can't stop shivering. Jinu looks at her, sighs, and finally says what's on his mind. I do like teasing you, but I've never hated you. As he says it, he gently pats her on the head. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts. But words aren't enough. He takes off his own jacket and drapes it over her shoulders. A classic move, sure, but damn, it's effective. This sudden act of kindness leaves Ajin completely stunned. Her heart is doing somersaults. But that jacket just became Exhibit A in the court of high school drama. The moment they walk back into the room, all eyes lock onto Ajin. More specifically, onto the jacket she's wearing. The gossip mill just got a fresh news story spin, and there's no way they can explain this one away. And in the crowd, Ajin's friend, Cho-wee, watches with a complicated expression. She sees the way Junwoo looks at Ajin, and only at Ajin. It's a look filled with an attention she's never seen from him before. The seeds of jealousy have been planted. The real storm, it seems, is just beginning. That night, Junwoo can't sleep. He tosses and turns, but one image is stuck in his head. Ajin. And then it hits him like a ton of bricks. Without her glasses, Ajin is actually kind of cute. Bro finally figured out. The trip is over, but something has definitely changed. Back at school, Junwoo finds the perfect excuse to talk to her, pretending he lost his scrunchie. He plucks it right off her wrist, a smirk playing on his lips. You're always so silly. The teasing is back, but this time, it feels different. Flustered, Ajin's face turns beet red. Before she can stop herself, the words just tumble out. Why do you keep teasing me? Do you find me that cute? Oh, she really said it. The air crackles with unspoken energy. The ball is in Junwoo's court now, and their story has only just begun. Ah, young love, always shadowed by the green-eyed monster. Just as things started heating up between Ajin and Junwoo, her so-called best friend, Cho-wee, smells something fishy. With a smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes, she pulls Ajin aside. So, about yesterday, did something happen with Junwoo? Ajin's heart drops, but she plays it cool. And nothing happened. But her shifty eyes tell a completely different story. He just lent her his jacket. Cho-wee scoffs internally. Liar. The warmth vanishes from her eyes, replaced by icy rage. I'm supposed to be your best friend, and you dare lie to me? That feeling of betrayal fuels the fire of her jealousy. A storm is brewing, and she's about to become the puppet master. And so, Cho-wee's plan is set in motion. She sends Ajin a text, the perfect damsel in distress excuse. My period started unexpectedly. Can you run to the convenience store for me? Our girl, ever the loyal friend, doesn't hesitate. She has no idea she's walking right into a trap. As night falls, a few shady figures lurk in the alley near the store, just as planned. When Ajin shows up, they immediately surround her. So you're the one bullying our Cho-wee, huh? Ajin is completely stunned. Bullying? What are you talking about? But before she can finish, a hand grabs her arm. Let go of her. A cold voice cuts through the tension. It's Junwoo. He's here. His eyes are blazing as he clamps down on the thug's wrist. Before anyone can react, he flips the guy onto the pavement. I told you to let her go. Didn't you hear me? This isn't the playful popular kid from school. This is a knight, and he's here to protect his girl. And then, all hell breaks loose. Junwoo takes them on, a whirlwind of kicks and punches. But he's outnumbered. In the chaos, one of the thugs grabs a wooden club and brings it down hard on his arm. The sickening thud silences everyone. Ajin can only watch in horror as he crumples, all to protect her. Her heart shatters. From a distance, Cho-wee watches the chaos unfold. Seeing Junwoo hurt, seeing Ajin's panicked face, it gives her a sixth sense of satisfaction. I just told them to scare her a bit. She thinks to herself, a twisted smirk playing on her lips. But I have to admit, seeing her like this feels kind of good. Jealousy had turned her into a real monster. Outside the emergency room, Ajin is a mess. Tears stream down her face as the image of Junwoo taking that hit plays on a loop in her head. It's all my fault. Junwoo got hurt because of me. The guilt is a physical weight, crushing her. She's never felt so helpless. The next day, the school is buzzing with the news. Junwoo's in the hospital with a fractured arm. The rumors get wilder by the minute. Some say he fought off 17 guys alone. Every word is like a dagger to Ajin's heart. She can't eat, can't think. She just knows she has to see him. She has to do something. Meanwhile, Cho-wee continues her Oscar-worthy performance as the concerned best friend. She offers a shoulder to cry on while subtly planting seeds of doubt. The police can't find them, she says with fake sympathy. Junwoo probably hates you now. Every word is perfectly calculated to twist the knife deeper. She finally works up the courage to see him, finding him at a convenience store. His arm is in a sling, his face a little pale. The moment she sees him, her eyes well up. I'm so sorry. She chokes out, unable to form a complete sentence. The worry is practically pouring out of her. Junwoo sees her on the verge of tears and doesn't know whether to laugh or sigh. He was just trying to tease her a little, but he hadn't expected this. Then it happens. The straw for her milk carton slips from his fingers and falls to the floor. A tiny, insignificant piece of plastic. But to Ajin, it's the end of the world. In her eyes, he can't even pick up a straw. His life is ruined, and it's all her fault. An overwhelming wave of guilt and a strange new resolve wash over her. Taking a deep breath, with tears shining in her eyes, Ajin makes a declaration that shakes the very foundations of the convenience store. Junu, I will take full responsibility for you. For the rest of my life. The air freezes. Junu is just stunned. He expected 1,000 different reactions, but this wasn't one of them. The rest of my life? Junu's brain short circuits. How did things get this far? His arm is just fractured. It'll heal in a month. How did they jump straight to a lifetime commitment? He finally realizes that his friend's little white lie, combined with Ajin's overactive imagination, has created a colossal misunderstanding. But it's too late. Ajin has already shifted into full-on caretaker mode. She follows him everywhere, carrying his bag, taking his pictures, treating him like a fragile piece of glass. Junu is trapped. He tries to explain, but every time he looks into her sincere, guilt-ridden eyes, the words get stuck in his throat. He later finds out from his friend that this whole mess started because of his own dumb idea to test if she really cared. He's completely cornered by her clumsy, overwhelming kindness. Every attempt to tell the truth is met with more teary-eyed concern. He reaches out, just wanting to pat her head and tell her it's okay, but the simple touch makes her blush and freeze. God, her reactions are just too cute. Junu's heart is doing backflips. On the train ride home, Junu decides enough is enough. He has to end this ridiculous misunderstanding. But just as he's about to speak, he looks over and sees her. Ajin has fallen asleep on his shoulder, a sweet smile on her face, probably dreaming of croissants. And looking at her peaceful, unguarded face, his resolve completely melts away. She even mumbles in her sleep, I'll take responsibility, don't worry. Junu's heart skips a beat. This silly, adorable girl. Her methods are clumsy, but her feelings are so real. Fine, if that's what she said. He gazes at her, a new determination in his eyes. A voice in his head whispers, Ajin, you can't take that back. From this moment on, he's changing the rules of the game. High school life is a constant pendulum swing between boring routine and sudden, utter chaos. And today was a chaos day. The teacher announced a classroom shuffle, basically a lottery of social doom. And our girl Ajin, a sweet soul who's more interested in baking than boys, just hit the jackpot. We're the anti-jackpot. She's now partners with Junu, one of the most popular guys in school. Just look at the expression on Junu's face, pure, unadulterated shock. Like fate just played a prank on him. And Ajin? She's blushing so hard she might actually be combusting. The school's ice prince and the quiet baking girl, thrown together by chance. This pairing feels like a system glitch. In class, Ajin tries to play it cool, scribbling down notes while the guy next to her just stares. The intensity of his gaze could probably set paper on fire. Putting on her bravest face, Ajin offers with a super bright smile, Hey, I can take notes for you and print them out. She thinks she's breaking the ice, but our boy Junu just freezes, a faint blush creeping up his neck. His brain is short-circuiting over that smile. A little later, though, our girl's energy levels crash. Having skipped her nap, she's practically melting onto her desk. And that's when Junu makes his move, sliding some cash over. Ajin, he says, his voice low, can you grab me some bread and banana milk from the cafeteria? And guess what? In her flustered state, the girl completely forgets the order. She dashes off, full of purpose, and returns panting with a cake and the wrong drink. Junu stares at the completely incorrect snack combo, utterly speechless. Is this girl's brain just 90% dessert recipes? Ajin's internal monologue is just a scream of panic. Huh, did I hear him wrong? Oh God, I messed up. She's ready to spontaneously combust from embarrassment. But then Junu reaches over, grabs the drink she bought by mistake, expertly pops it open with a fork and hands it to her. Here. You can have it, he says, a ghost of a smile playing on his lips. And just like that, the air between them gets a little warmer, a little sweeter. Holding the milk, Ajin's brain just blue screens. Wait a minute, hold the phone. Did he make me buy all this just to give it to me? The thought drops into her mind like a bombshell, sending ripples through her entire system. This cold, aloof guy, was he actually this smooth? Or was she just reading way too much into it? From that day on, something shifted. Their interactions became a series of light jabs and teases. Junu would complain about her handwriting looking like chicken scratch, but then ask her to hold his book open for him. Did that banana milk not give you enough energy? He'd mock gently, but the playful glint in his eyes told a different story. Our girl was completely spiraling. The teacher's lecturing about celestial bodies, but Ajin's mind is in a whole other universe. Was he thinking of me? No, no way. It was just bait to make me do his work. She keeps trying to shut it down, but her heart's beating a mile a minute. She's totally dazed, her eyes sparkling like she's staring right into a nebula. And so the class passes in a haze of Ajin's daydreams and Junu's quiet presence. The second that bell rings, though, the hallway erupts. It's a stampede. Students flood out of classrooms like a tidal wave, all screaming the sacred word for today's lunch, malatang. But not everyone is hyped for lunch. Outside the girls' bathroom, a girl named Cho Wee is staring at her phone with pure annoyance. Some dude named Dojin is spamming her with cringy messages. While she fakes sweetness on a call with him, her mind is already calculating how to squeeze a designer bag out of this walking ATM before ghosting him for good. Ugh, man. Hanging up, Cho Wee sees a text. Ajin canceled their lunch plans. Her internal alarm bells start ringing. What plan could SHE have? I was going to ask about her, and Junu. Her expression darkens with suspicion. And right on cue, a familiar figure appears down the hall. Speak of the devil, it's Junu. Jealousy is a nasty beast. Elsewhere, another one of Junu's admirers, a girl with purple hair, sees him walking with Ajin, and something inside her just snaps. She barrels through the crowded hallway, deliberately slamming into Ajin before laughing it off and running away. Ajin stumbles, stunned, and Junu, he just glances back, his expression cold, and walks off. A pang of disappointment hits Ajin, sharp and sudden. The purple-haired girl's eyes burn with venom and resentment. I told her to stay away from him. How dare she disregard me? Teenage possessiveness, man. It's a ticking time bomb, just waiting to start a war. Despite these little dramas, Ajin and Junu's, whatever it is, seems to be moving forward. They end up eating lunch together, and the way Ajin absolutely demolishes her food makes Junu crack a smile. Wow, she really enjoys it, he thinks, watching her. This must be that thing people talk about, where you feel full just by watching someone you like eat. After lunch, Junu says he's heading to the library, and Ajin tags along. Turns out, he's not there for himself. He finds an easy-to-read science book for her. This overlaps with our earth science class. The explanations are simple. Lots of pictures, he says, handing it over. Ajin is floored. Wait, is he trying to help me study? A private tutoring session from the smartest kid in school? This is VIP treatment. Staring at the book, Ajin's mind starts to wander again. The stars on the page begin to look like the sparkle in Junu's eyes. Lost in her own little galaxy, she doesn't realize lunch break is almost over. She jolts up in a panic and walks right in him. Bottom, bottom. Her heartbeat is so loud, she's sure he can hear it. All she can see is the sharp line of his jaw and his eyelashes catching the light. The atmosphere gets charged fast. He reaches for a book on a high shelf. She, thinking of his injured arm, instinctively reaches up to help. And their hands touch. It's just for a second, but it feels like a jolt of electricity. Ajin's face goes nuclear red as she covers it in embarrassment. But Junu just asks softly, "Sorry, did that hurt?" It's over. She's so completely done for. Her heart is trying to escape her ribcage. And that scent again, that crisp green apple scent. She remembers it. The space between them is dangerously small, the air thick with unspoken things. This guy, every little thing he does sends her heart into a frenzy. Just as the tension reaches its peak, Junu's phone rings. It's bad news. His grandmother's in the hospital. He has to go now. The spell is broken. Ajin, ever the sweetheart, immediately tells him not to worry about her and to just go. As she watches him turn to leave, a strange mix of emotions settles in her chest. The next day is a massive milestone for Ajin. It's the day she finally gets her braces off. I can finally eat sticky desserts. For a baking enthusiast, this is basically heaven. She skips to the dentist's office, ready to embrace a new life where caramel cake is back on the menu. The procedure brings back a flood of memories. She thinks about all the times she covered her mouth when she laughed, self-conscious about her braces. Looking back now, it all feels so distant. Those 3 years were definitely worth it. As she's admiring her new, brilliant smile in the mirror, a familiar voice sounds from behind her. I have something for my dad. Ajin turns, and her heart stops. It's Junu. And the plot twist of the century? This dental clinic is owned by Junu's dad. What kind of K-drama nonsense is this? Seeing Ajin's bright, braces-free smile, Junu freezes too. Something about her today seems different, brighter, prettier. With Junu's parents watching on and gossiping, Ajin gets a little carried away, grabbing his arm and gushing about how popular he is at school. Junu is both annoyed and amused, grabbing her wrist to make her stop. Ajin, that's enough. But to any onlooker, this just looks like some serious, high-level flirting. Standing in the clinic's lobby, the air between them is thick with this new, weird energy. Ajin is still marveling at the insane coincidence, completely oblivious to the thoughtful look in Junu's eyes. He studies her face. He thinks, now that I look closely, she really does resemble her dad. Ajin excitedly shows off her newly liberated teeth, fishing for a compliment. But our boy, with all the romantic tact of brick, just says, you look the same, with or without them. And her heart shatters. Is it so hard to just congratulate me? She thinks, turning to leave in a huff. This guy is hopeless. Ajin, wait. Just as she's about to walk out, Junu calls after her. He clears his throat, looking a little awkward. Since he got his braces off, and it's almost dinner time. He trails off, but Ajin doesn't need him to finish. Her heart is pounding like a drum solo. Is he asking her out? He did. He actually did. They end up at a curry and tonkatsu place. Ajin is ecstatic. She hasn't had curry in 3 years because it would stain her braces. To make things even better, the restaurant gives them a free tonkatsu to celebrate their anniversary. Ajin feels like the luckiest girl alive, resting her chin in her hands with literal hearts in her eyes. Seeing her so happy makes Junu smile too. I've never seen Ajin smile so much, he realizes. She asks when he's getting his cast off, promising to treat him to a meal once he's healed. You got hurt because of me, after all. Her thoughtfulness warms something inside him. Sure, I'd like that, Junu replies softly. The mood is perfect, something special is blooming between them, and then the universe decides to crash the party. The sky outside darkens in an instant, a low rumble of thunder shaking the windows. A storm's coming. By the time they finish their meal, it's a full-on downpour. Meanwhile, in a luxury brand store across town, Choi is starring in a completely different drama. She's clinging to some gross older guy, faking affection while internally screaming. F******, he's so disgusting. I don't want you, I want those bags. On the outside, she's all blushing and shy. On the inside, she's a raging inferno of greed and frustration. And in another stroke of terrible luck, 2 of her classmates happen to be walking by. Is that Chohui's boyfriend? They whisper outside the store. Chohui's heart plummets. She can't let them find out about her arrangement. And just then, seeking shelter from the rain, Ajin and Junu duck into the same mall. And the 4 of them run right into each other. Awkward. Seeing Ajin and Junu together, the 2 guys immediately start teasing them. Choi, thinking fast, introduces the man with her as her cousin. Hearing that word, a spark ignites in Junu's eyes. An idea begins to form. All Choi wants is to get these 2 guys who know her secret away from her. The panic is real. I can't let them find out I'm dating someone. What if they tell Junu? She decisively grabs her classmates' arms and pulls them aside, making up an excuse to get them away from her cousin. Junu watches this all unfold from a distance, a sour taste in his mouth. Choi mistook him for Ajin's boyfriend and called him her cousin. It's rubbing him the wrong way. What is she doing with another guy right in front of me? Is she embarrassed to be seen with me? The seeds of jealousy and misunderstanding begin to sprout. After the little drama concludes, Ajin and Junu say their goodbyes. Choi breathes a sigh of relief, thinking she's dodged a bullet. Little does she know, her web of lies has already started to create a rift between the 2 people she's most afraid of losing. The rain is still pouring. Ajin needs to catch her bus, but Junu admits he's only got 3,000 won on him. I'll pay. Ajin insists immediately. You already bought me dinner. I can't let you pay for the taxi too. And with that, she's about to dash out into the downpour to hail a cab. Wait, Junu grabs her arm, stopping her. And in the next second, he does something that makes Ajin's heart skip a beat. He takes off his plaid shirt, holding it over both of their heads like a makeshift umbrella. Rain drips from the fabric, but in the small, sheltered world underneath, it's just the 2 of them. Ajin keeps her head down, her cheeks burning. She can smell that faint green apple scent clinging to his shirt. She can feel the warmth from his arm, the gentle way he holds the shirt to keep them both covered. I'm just trying to keep us from getting wet, he explains, a little embarrassed. But Ajin knows. In this moment, something fundamental has changed between them. They make it to the bus stop and stand in silence, the sound of the rain filling the space between them. Ajin has a million things she wants to say. Thank you. I'm touched, my heart is doing backflips, but the words are stuck in her throat. She just nervously wrings her hands, frustrated with her own awkwardness. Her bus arrives. She scrambles on like she's escaping, but her mind is screaming at her. Can I really just leave like this? At least say goodbye. She looks back through the door and sees something she absolutely did not expect. Junoo, soaking wet and looking determined, is getting on the bus right behind her. I'll come with you, he says, his voice calm, but his eyes unwavering. Rain drips from his hair, and in their clear depths, Ajin sees her own reflection and an answer she's been waiting for. The bus ride is a masterclass in sweet, awkward silence. Ajin's heart is doing the tango. Oh my God, did he really get on because of me? She stares out the window at the city lights, feeling like she's in a dream. The rain outside has stopped, but a new kind of storm has just started in her heart, a shower of pink cherry blossoms. To break the silence, Ajin points out her apartment complex as they pass it. Junoo just nods. When her stop comes, they wave goodbye. A simple bye, but it feels loaded with unspoken meaning. Thank goodness, she thinks, the rain has stopped. But in someone else's world, the storm is just beginning. Down in a parking garage, that greasy guy Dojin confronts Chohui. You just leaving? What about my bag? Chohui's patience has finally run out. She lays into him, her words like daggers. You had no intention of buying me anything. You're just a flashy smooth talker with his parents' money. Her words hit a nerve. Enraged, Dojin shoves her against a car, yelling at her to get in. The man's polished facade cracks, revealing the ugly truth underneath. Chohui looks at him with pure contempt. But then, Dojin plays his trump card. He shows her a photo on his phone. It's her dad, with the woman he had an affair with. He's been digging into her past, and now he's using it as blackmail. A few weeks later, things at school are calm. Ajin and Junoo's bond has grown stronger. They share banana milk in the classroom, enjoying a rare moment of peace. They have no idea that a much bigger storm is brewing just for them. The day has finally come for Junoo to get his cast off. He asks Ajin to go to the hospital with him after school. To Ajin, this sounds suspiciously like an official date. The butterflies in her stomach are having a rave. Elsewhere, Chohui is suffocating under Dojin's threats. Her so-called dad, who's never done a thing for her, and this jerk digging into her past to blackmail her. Her heart fills with a cold, dark hatred. I just want to kill them all, she thinks, her eyes glinting with a dangerous edge. And all that hatred needs an outlet. She finds the perfect scapegoat. While working her part-time job at the restaurant, she stumbles upon a viral video from that day, the one of Ajin and Junoo eating together. The flames of jealousy instantly consume her. Ajin and Junoo, when did they get together? The sweet scene on the screen is like a knife to her heart. She decides, in that moment, to blame all of her own misery on this innocent, happy girl. And so the storm hits. Chohui confronts Ajin in the hallway. I'll give you one more chance, she says, her voice like ice. Tell me there's nothing going on between you and him. Ajin is taken aback by her sudden hostility, but she answers truthfully that she's going with Junoo to the hospital today. That answer is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Chohui's plan clicks into place. She fakes feeling unwell and asks the kind-hearted Ajin to help her move some supplies to the art room and sort them out. And Ajin, bless her trusting soul, agrees without a second thought. While Ajin is alone in the empty art room, sorting supplies, Chohui slips out. Using a piece of wire, she locks the door from the outside. With a soft click, Ajin's world is plunged into darkness and isolation. When Ajin realizes she's locked in, sheer panic sets in. Is anyone there? I'm locked inside, she cries, pounding on the door. As the sky darkens, a chilling fear creeps over her. It triggers a traumatic memory from her childhood of being locked in a closet, a memory she's kept buried for years. She curls up in a corner, trembling. Just as despair threatens to swallow her whole, she remembers that day at coding camp. The boy who opened the closet door and asked, "Are you okay?" The boy who was her only light in the darkness. Meanwhile, back in the classroom, Junoo has been waiting. And waiting. Something feels wrong. She's such a handful. He mutters, but despite his complaints, he gets up and goes to find her. He finds his way to the art room. The door is locked from the outside with a ridiculous-looking pink wire. He easily undoes it and pushes the door open. And there she is, curled up in the corner, looking like a small, frightened kitten. Her clothes are damp, and she's shivering uncontrollably. Without a word, Junoo takes off his school jacket and gently drapes it over her shaking shoulders. It's still warm from his body, and it carries that familiar, comforting scent of green apples. The next day, Ajin is walking home with her friend, who's still freaking out about yesterday's incident. You must have been so scared. How did you get out? She asks, rapid fire. But our girl is completely spacing out, lost in her own world. She stammers, a blush creeping up her cheeks, and finally confesses, my first love, Gwang Hyan, he saved me. Hold up, what? Gwang Hyan? Her friend's face freezes, a look of pure, unadulterated girl. Are you serious right now? Her friend's mind flashes back to not so long ago, when Ajin was crying her eyes out because this Gwanghine guy had a girlfriend. But now, it seems our girl has conveniently swapped out yesterday's hero with the object of her long-standing crush. Meanwhile, a certain someone sees this as the perfect opportunity, a chance to drive a wedge between Junwoo and Ajin. She's already scheming, pushing another girl forward. You should really try to hit on him this time. Poor Ajin, completely oblivious. She's clutching the warm drink Junwoo gave her yesterday, unable to bring herself to drink it. The warmth, the accidental brush of their fingers, it's all replaying in her mind. She's lost in the memory of his gentle profile and his offer to walk her home. Completely unaware, she's become a pawn in someone else's game. Across the classroom, Junwoo watches her, worried. She seems so distracted. Did yesterday's ordeal really shake her up? He remembers how she left without her bag, how he had to go to the hospital alone for his own scrapes. Man, this girl is a handful. Junwoo wants to ask her to an escape room this weekend, but the words get stuck in his throat. He just watches her smiling like a fool and sighs. Does she think smiling like that makes everything okay? Just then, the teacher walks in with an announcement. A new trainee teacher is joining them. The classroom erupts, the girls buzzing with excitement. And then, the door opens. A tall, handsome figure steps inside. It's him, Gwang Hyan. Fast forward to our class. Mr. Kim wants everyone to partner up and draw each other's portraits. Ajin is practically drooling, ready to volunteer as his model. But as fate would have it, she ends up paired with Junwoo. The air is a little awkward, but as they actually start to observe each other, the mood shifts. Huh, I never noticed how long Junwoo's eyelashes are. Ajin thinks, mesmerized. And under her focused gaze, our boy can't help but feel a slight blush creeping up his neck. Junwoo finishes his drawing. It's not Ajin. It's a green apple, drawn with terrifying realism. The whole class is stunned. This guy's skills are on another level. Ajin stares at the apple, and something clicks, that comforting scent from his jacket. So he likes green apples. This small discovery feels like a secret, melting sweetly in her heart. She looks at Junwoo, her eyes sparkling with pure admiration. Meanwhile, Junwoo's friend Jongmin is about to make a big move. He's going to confess to his longtime crush, Cho-wee, and he's feeling confident. This time it's in the bag. Junwoo is skeptical, remembering how badly he crashed and burned last time. But there's no stopping a man on a mission, so Jongmin, armed with a bouquet of flowers, charges into battle. The result? An epic disaster. Jongmin musters all his courage, presents the flowers, and declares, "This is how I feel about you." But the girl across from him, Cho-wee, just stares back in shock before delivering the final blow. I like Junwoo. Boom. Total system failure. Jongmin freezes on the spot, the flowers in his hands suddenly weighing a ton. He never imagined he'd end up being the wingman for his own rival. Just as Junwoo's getting a massive headache from his friend's drama, he gets a text from Ajin. She wants to meet up, says she has something for him. With a complicated heart, he goes to meet her. She hands him a box containing a tart she baked herself. I was thinking about what to make, and I remember the apple you drew in art class, she says, her smile as warm as the sun. In that single moment, all the frustration and gloom in Junwoo's mind seems to vanish, wiped away by a simple dessert and this girl's smile. Just as Ajin is about to head for the bus, Junwoo pulls her into a nearby arcade. Turns out, that bread doll she's been obsessed with is the grand prize for the basketball game. Without a word, our boy picks up a ball and enters God mode. Every shot is clean, every arc is perfect, swishing through the net. The score climbs relentlessly, and the growing crowd can only watch in awe. Go Junwoo! Ajin cheers from the sidelines, her fists clenched, her eyes locked on the figure dominating the court. As the final ball sinks perfectly, the score freezes above 900. Mission accomplished. Junwoo retrieves the coveted bread doll, and, like a returning hero, presents it to her. On the way home, Ajin is hugging the soft bread doll, practically floating on a cloud of happiness. "You're amazing, Junwoo," she says, her voice full of genuine awe. The mood is perfect, the sunset casting a golden glow on them. As they wait for her bus, just before she leaves, Junwoo suddenly speaks up, asking the question that's been bugging him all day. "Do you know the trainee teacher?" The air freezes. Ajin stops, then a shy blush spreads across her face. Looking down, she murmurs, "He's my first love." The words hit Junwoo like a ton of bricks. He misunderstands, hearing it in the present tense, not the past. He sees her shy expression, and his heart sinks. The girl's flustered explanations about him having a girlfriend only sound like she's trying to hide her current feelings. Junwoo goes silent. He doesn't know what to say, just a tightness in his chest. "I was just curious how you felt," he manages to say stiffly, before turning to leave, his back radiating disappointment. The next day at school, he's walking the halls completely out of it when he turns a corner and runs straight into the source of all his troubles, Gwang Hai and Kim. The two lock eyes, one with a perfect smile, the other with just my luck written all over his face. A new storm is clearly brewing. Junu's heart is pounding, his mind just screaming so cute. But what comes out of his mouth is, my friend told me about a fun show. What was it again? Smooth. The girl doesn't notice, though. She's just excited. Good. We were going to watch one anyway. But after scrolling endlessly, she suddenly stands up, face flushed, and asks, "Are you hungry?" Haha. Classic move when you can't decide on movie. Her adorable awkwardness leaves our boy completely stunned. But just as Ajin is about to whip up a meal, ready to enjoy this rare one-on-one time, on the other side of town, her best friend, Cho-wee, gets a call. It's the police investigating an illegal filming studio. And guess whose resume they found? Cho-wee's. Her pupils shrink. She bolts upright in bed. Today? Isn't that the place Ajin went to for me? That's right. This so-called part-time job was a trap from the very beginning. Cho-wee panics, but the call confirms it. Ajin is safe. A young man picked her up. She breathes a sigh of relief, but then the green-eyed monster rears its ugly head. She knows it had to be Junu. The thought of Ajin and Junu getting closer because of this? Unacceptable. What to do? Easy. Her fingers start flying across her phone screen as she masterfully crafts the perfect victim narrative. Meanwhile, back at Junu's place, the air is filled with the cozy smell of a home-cooked meal. Ajin's bacon and egg rice bowl makes Junu feel like all the fatigue from today has been washed away. The compliment makes our girl blush, smiling like a little sunbeam. But the sweet vibe doesn't last. When the conversation turns to the dangerous incident, Ajin is still fiercely defending her friend. Cho-wee was just sick. She definitely didn't know it was that kind of place. Junu's expression hardens. He knows Cho-wee wasn't sick at all, but how can he tell Ajin the truth without crushing her? And right on cue, asterisk ding asterisk, a text message pops up. It's from Cho-wee to Ajin, an Oscar-worthy performance. Ajin, are you okay? I just got a call from the cops. I really thought it was just a normal gig. I'm so sorry. Junu reads the message over her shoulder, his brow furrowed. Wow, the sheer audacity. He's almost impressed. The rest of the meal is a mix of flavors, and not just from the food. After the drama, the atmosphere between them gets even more intense. Ajin gives him a handmade bread-shaped keyring, and later, as she dozes off on the couch, Junu watches her with the softest gaze. He inches closer, his heart hammering. Maybe this is too close. He tries to pull back, but his body refuses to cooperate. The tension is absolutely electric. And right at that critical moment, asterisk click asterisk, the door opens. Ajin's family is home. The two of them freeze, caught in the dark, and the awkwardness just explodes. Junu is busted, and Ajin is so flustered she accidentally introduces him as her boyfriend to her dad. Junu eventually escapes the chaos, but not before pulling her into a gentle back hug just outside her door. No words needed. That one gesture said everything. The next day at school, the storm is far from over. Cho-wee continues her innocent act, even taunting Junu to his face, confident that Ajin will believe her over him. Our boy is furious, but he's more worried about the naive girl who's completely in the dark. He warns Cho-wee to watch herself, but she just scoffs. The war for Ajin's trust has officially begun. Despite all the drama, Junu decides to make his move. He walks right up to Ajin's desk and softly asks her to walk home with him. The entire classroom freezes. Ajin's brain short-circuits. Her face goes supernova red, and her mind is instantly flooded with pink, fluffy fantasies. But then, the memory of last night's awkwardness hits her. She chickens out, spending the rest of the day actively avoiding him. But our boy isn't giving up that easily. After school, he waits for her in the empty classroom. "I've been waiting for you." The impact of those words is devastating. Ajin's defenses crumble. There's nowhere left to run. In the hallway, Junu finally musters all his courage and says it, "I like you." The world goes silent. Ajin just stands there, frozen, her own heartbeat deafening. Junu likes her? The sudden confession completely throws Ajin for a loop. Her, an ordinary girl, being liked by Junu, the guy who's smart, athletic, and ridiculously handsome? It just doesn't compute. The more she thinks, the more unreal it feels, picturing herself being hunted down by his entire fan club if she says yes. Meanwhile, her panicked retreat makes Junu think he's been rejected. He's out on a basketball court, shooting hoops like a madman, but he just can't focus. And just when you think it can't get more complicated, it does. While Ajin is still reeling from Junu's confession, her bestie, Cho-wee, comes to her with shy look on her face and drops a bomb. I like Junu. Ajin, you're my best friend. You have to help me. Boom. A direct hit. Her own budding feelings on one side, a decade of friendship on the other. Ajin is trapped. Looking into Cho-hui's sincere eyes, she eventually nods. After all, they're friends, right? Having made her choice, Ajin is in agony. She promised to help her friend, which means she has to push Junu away. But Junu isn't having any of it. He finds her sitting alone, hands her a banana milk, and his eyes scream, I'm not giving up. If you're going to avoid me, then I'll just have to make time to talk to you. This direct attack leaves Ajin completely flustered, hiding her bright red face behind the milk carton. What do I do? Torn between friendship and her own heart, Ajin turns to her ultimate therapy, baking. But of course, the universe has other plans. The oven picks this exact moment to die. Defeated, she posts an apology on her baking channel. An apology that is immediately seen by a certain someone who just happened to be thinking of her. At the same time, a friendly fan named Dalcom Honey slides in her DMs, offering her own kitchen for Ajin to use. Ajin happily heads over to the fan's house, and they hit it off immediately. As they chat and prep ingredients, Junu is venting to his own friend. He's pretty sure Cho-wee is the mastermind behind all the recent trouble, but he has no proof and no idea how to tell Ajin. His friend just pats him on the shoulder, teasing him about how much he's grown up, chasing after a girl and all. At the fan's house, the baking is going great, until a small accident. Ajin spills cocoa powder all over herself. The friendly fan offers her a change of clothes. So, after she's cleaned up and is about to step out of the bathroom, click. The front door opens. A familiar figure walks in. I'm home. It's Junu. He notices the extra pair of girl shoes at the entrance and just assumes his mom has a guest over. The gears of fate are turning at full speed. Feeling hungry, Junu follows the delicious smell towards the kitchen, just as Ajin steps out of the bathroom. They meet at the corner of a hallway. The air freezes. Time itself seems to stop. Shock is written all over both their faces, their heartbeats echoing in the silence. In perfect, disbelieving unison, they call out each other's name. Junu? Ajin. Oh boy, this is about to get interesting. And cue the record scratch. Our two protagonists are frozen in the hallway, staring at each other like they've seen a ghost. The air is thick with question marks. What are you doing here? Junu manages to ask, his voice laced with disbelief. This is my house. Ajin is completely short-circuiting. Wait a damn minute. The super sweet baking blogger, Clara, is Junu's MOM? What are the odds? Junu's eyes scan over her, noticing the change of clothes. A smirk plays on his lips. So, you took a shower too? Ajin's face instantly goes nuclear red. She could just die of embarrassment right here. She frantically tries to explain she just spilled some stuff, but in her panic, her feet get tangled and asterisk whap asterisk. She's on the floor. Well, so much for a cool and composed reunion. Just when Ajin thinks she's reached peak humiliation for the day, Junu just watches her and then says softly, those clothes, they look good on you. And boom. It's like fireworks just went off in Ajin's head. The awkwardness evaporates, replaced by a strange, warm feeling. This guy, who always seems so cool and aloof, he has this gentle side too? And then, the cavalry arrives, Junu's mom, aka Clara. Seeing her son and Ajin together, she's absolutely ecstatic, calling it fate. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Cho-wee is stewing, staring at her phone. Ajin hasn't texted back all day. The gears in her head are churning out conspiracy theories. Could it be because I told her I like Junu? Is she avoiding me? But Ajin has bigger things to worry about. Junu's mom is the ultimate wingman, inviting her to come over anytime, and even promising access to high-end baking equipment she ordered from overseas. For a baking nerd like Ajin, that's like offering Willy Wonka's factory keys. As she nibbles on snacks, she steals a glance at Junu. He's just munching away on a banana, looking totally unfazed, except for the goofy, uncontrollable grin spreading across his face. As evening sets, Ajin decides it's time to go. Junu doesn't say much, just stands up. I'll walk you to the bus stop. On the quiet street, they walk one behind the other, the air thick with a sweet kind of awkwardness. Trying to break the silence, Ajin brings up how she overheard his mom calling him rough. Junu just grunts in agreement. Just as she thinks the conversation is dead, she finds her hand reaching out, gently grabbing the hem of his shirt. Back home, Ajin flops on her bed, her mind a total mess. More happened today than in the entire last month. She looks at the t-shirt Junu's mom lent her and can't help but smile. Just then, her phone buzzes. It's an angry emoji from Cho-wee. Crap. She totally forgot to text back. She starts typing, "I was at Junu's," but her fingers freeze over the screen. She remembers what he said at the bus stop. "I hope it's because of me." And her cheeks start burning all over again. In the end, she sends a little white lie about being busy baking. But across town, the real drama is just kicking off. At a fancy restaurant, Junu and his friend run into the most unexpected pairing imaginable. Is that Cho-wee on a date with Dojin, the creep who's been harassing Ajin? Junu is practically petrified. The plot has officially become thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Cho-wee has no idea Junu is sitting one table over. She's suffering through Dojin's cringy advances, but her mind is staging a whole different play. When Dojin mentions Ajin's name, her worst fears are confirmed. Asterisk, she lied to me. She said she'd help me, but she went to see Junu behind my back. That two-faced. Asterisk, the flames of jealousy are burning bright and hot. When Dojin heads to the restroom, Cho-wee follows, engineering a little accidental run-in with Junu in the hallway. Time for a preemptive strike. She whips out her phone, showing Junu a photo of Ajin looking cozy with her supposed first love, Mr. Kim. "You know how much a first love means to a girl like Ajin, right?" She purrs, trying to plant a seed of doubt. But our boy's reaction is not what she expected. He doesn't even flinch. Her plan backfired, and Cho-wee is left to crumble. Staring at her reflection, all her resentment comes bubbling to the surface. Asterisk, it's all Ajin's fault. If it weren't for her, Junu would have chosen me. Asterisk, she tries to console herself with the designer bag and expensive heels Dojin bought her, whispering, "I won." But deep down, the feeling of emptiness and defeat is as sharp and shattered as a broken mirror. The next day at school, a new rumor is making the rounds. Junu and Cho-wee are supposedly dating. Junu couldn't care less about the gossip. He just wants to find Ajin and clear the air. "I ran into Cho-wee at the department store yesterday," he says, cutting right to the chase. Ajin's heart stutters, her face flushing. Oh no, does he know about her date with Dojin? Looking at this girl, so flustered and red-cheeked over a simple misunderstanding, Junu suddenly realizes something. All the explanations, the rumors, the scheming, it's all just noise. He takes a deep breath, his gaze locking onto hers, and with a seriousness she's never seen before, he drops the bomb. "Ajin," he says, "let's go on a date too." It all starts with an invitation that came out of nowhere. The school's most popular guy, Junu, actually turns to our girl Ajin and says, "Let's go on a date too." And just like that, a bomb goes off in Ajin's world. She spends the entire night tossing and turning, her mind racing with one word: tomorrow. Why is time moving so fast, yet so agonizingly slow? After bailing on him last time, she absolutely, positively cannot be late again. She even picked out her best white dress for the occasion. But of course, fate just loves a good practical joke. The next morning, she bolts upright in bed. Oh no, she overslept. She sprints out the door, screaming internally, of all the days to oversleep, it had to be today. And that wasn't even the worst part. A clumsy fumble on the bus, a sickening crack, and her phone screen is now a spiderweb masterpiece. It's completely dead. Game over. Now, she doesn't even know the time, let alone how to contact Junu. She stands at the meeting spot, heart pounding in her chest. Is Junu not here yet? Or am I already too late? But one look at the clock, 11:25, and a wave of relief washes over her. 5 minutes to spare. Thank God, she's not late. Our girl finds a spot to sit, her heart doing the cha-cha against her ribs. The excitement is almost too much. Where will he appear from? What will he be wearing? What she doesn't know, however, is that Junu is nowhere near the theater. He's outside an operating room at the hospital, frantically dialing her number over and over. "Please pick up, Ajin." But all he gets is the cold, automated voice on the other end. The clock mercilessly ticks past 12. The movie has already started. He slumps against the wall, his heart sinking into a black hole of dread. In the end, it's Junu who finds a distraught Ajin sitting on a bench in the hospital corridor. Turns out, she somehow heard about his dad's emergency and rushed over too. The doctor said it's a simple surgery, Junu says softly, his voice tired but reassuring. She looks up, meeting his worried gaze, and a knot of fear in her stomach loosens just a little. "But earlier, I really thought something bad was going to happen to your dad." Ajin's voice cracks with unshed tears. Seeing her like this, something in Junu's heart melts. He had an important interview to get to, but now, if I leave right now, she'll be all alone. He looks at her, his gaze firm and resolute. "The interview can wait. I'll wait with you until your dad gets out." The surgery was a success, a crisis averted. But the failed movie date lingered as a small regret for both of them. A few days later, they arrange to have lunch, a sort of do-over. But just as the mood is getting comfortable, an unexpected guest arrives. Mr. Park, the student teacher Ajin used to have a massive crush on. Haha, hope I'm not interrupting anything, Mr. Park says, casually joining their table. The vibe immediately shifts. The smile on Junu's face fades. He could see that fleeting spark in Ajin's eyes the moment she saw her old teacher. Mr. Park starts reminiscing about the past, teasing Ajin about her old crush on him. Junu listens in silence, a storm of jealousy brewing inside. He can't help but wonder, does Ajin still like him? The thought is like a thorn in his side. After Mr. Park finally leaves, the air is thick with awkwardness. Ajin is the first to speak, apologizing for how this date also got derailed. If I hadn't broken my phone, we wouldn't have ended up missing each other. She mumbles, looking down like a guilty kid. Junu watches her, his internal struggle reaching its peak. So what if Ajin still likes Mr. Kim? He asks himself. What does that have to do with me? It's not like it'll make me stop liking her. Realizing this, a sense of clarity washes over him. He looks at Ajin and says with utter sincerity, today was my fault. I'm the one who couldn't get in touch with you. Hearing this, Ajin looks up in surprise. She grabs the corner of his shirt, her voice filled with concern. Are you sure you're okay? I was so worried something might have happened. And in that moment, it hits Junu like a lightning bolt. All this time, she was worried about him. He had rushed all over town looking for her because, somehow, he just knew she'd be waiting. But we missed the movie, Ajin says, her cheeks glowing like ripe apples. Still, I'm glad you waited. Junu's heart skips a beat. He gently pokes her forehead. Like that's the only movie in the world, dummy. He murmurs, we can go see something else. And Ajin's heart just goes, badum, badum, badum. But the sweet moment doesn't last. Ajin's best friend, Cho-wee, pulls her aside with a devastating secret. She likes Junu, and she makes Ajin promise to help her get with him. Ajin's brain short circuits. Why? Why did I promise her that? She clutches her head, trapped in the ultimate dilemma between friendship and her own heart. From that day on, Ajin tries her best to avoid Junu. But during PE class, when she's about to collapse from exhaustion, Junu just naturally appears by her side, matching her pace. He looks at her gently. I thought you might take a while, so I'm trying to be your pacer. This goddamn tenderness. It completely shatters Ajin's defenses. But this entire scene is witnessed by Cho-wee from afar. She watches the undeniable chemistry between them on the field, and a fire of pure jealousy ignites in her eyes. She clenches her fists, her face twisting into a cold sneer Ajin has never seen before. Ajin, you two-faced liar. She thinks, a venomous promise forming in her mind. You'll pay for this.